Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Jonathan Erman with Old Man Winter.
Meteorologist Tim Ballasty.
Oh,
Very cold here.
what an awful winter, huh? Thank goodness it's over. But so we're gonna take a look back. We're gonna count down the top 10 worst winter locations in the United States. And here it's all about expectations, right? I mean, we could put International Falls up at #1 and just be done with it. But we're looking at expectations relative to average, right?
Relative to average. This is looking back at the winter season, the meteorological winter season from December 1st to February 28th, 2010. All right.
Do you have any extra coffee?
I do have a little bit of coffee, but that's.
But you're sick. You got caught your cold, right? So okay, let's leave that away.
All right.
All right, let's start and hop in the list. Let's go to number 10.
Okay.
We're actually going to start off not quite as cold with this one, Tim. We're going to go Portland, Maine at number 10.
Portland, Maine. It was a winter that was just snowless almost. It was a rain and wind winter. Storms that brought continuous bouts of heavy rain and also high winds.
Yeah, there are a couple places in Maine from 2 consecutive storms in late February here in March that picked up over 8 inches of rain,
Yes.
not snow. So if you're a winter enthusiast, you're kind of disappointed this winter. Not as much snow, and then rain and wind. There was all sorts of river flooding and all that. So Portland makes our list at number 10.
Number 10. Let's move it down to number 9.
All right, now we're dialing the thermometer down.
Yes.
We go to Des Moines, Iowa at number 10. So they had a top 5 snowiest season on record. Then you have persistent snow, and a lot of that snow fell early in the season, say in December. Then you have persistent coldest to lock that snowpack in. It's amazing how long some of that snowpack remained on the ground. It was what, 2 to 3 months?
2 to 3 months of a snowpack of the lawns, over the fields of Des Moines, Iowa, and throughout much of Iowa, to be honest. And that leads to what is happening in the spring, and that is...
Yeah, unfortunately, you turn the temperatures up, that snow's got to melt. And so now we have river flooding problems, even as we're taping this right now. So the combination of all that made Des Moines number 9 on our list of worst weather locations.
All
so
right.
let's keep punching through that list. What's number 8, Tim?
Number 8, it's Atlanta, Georgia. Do we look like homers here?
Yeah, blatant homers here. Look, again, it's all about expectations. Okay, winters in Canada and up in the northern tier states tend to be much harder to deal with. But Atlanta was persistently cold and wet, and we had several snow events. Which any snow event in the south can be very, very disruptive to our travel, especially in a city with hills. Like Atlanta, that doesn't have much snow removal capability,
and drivers that sometimes really just can't drive through.
Yeah, well, count me in on that. You know? I used to remember how to drive down here, so that makes our list at number 8.
Number 8. Let's move on down. Number 7.
Fargo, North Dakota. Okay.
Sort of the same qualifications that we presented with Des Moines, Iowa.
Right. Now, not for Fargo itself, for the city, not a spectacularly snowy winter. Now, they had a pretty snowy December. But it's the combination of the snowpack that was set in, which to their south was a bit more impressive. But then now we're starting to warm things up in the spring. What happens in Fargo? River flooding.
River flooding, and let's point out that picture, by the way. Look at that.
So did this guy shovel? Obviously, this guy could not have shoveled that, but either that's got big muscles or anything. But
that's
wow,
amazing.
We salute you, Fargo. That is amazing, and they make our list at number 7.
What an incredible picture. Number 6, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah, we didn't really have to gamble to get this on the list. I mean, what we had obviously it was their snowiest season on record. They had many of the snowstorms that hammered the Northeast. But they have another angle because they're on the coast, Tim.
The other angle is just, coastal erosion and beach erosion. It was just some of the damage that was done to the beaches is you can add that on to how much, is involved in removing snow through some of the interior portions of New Jersey.
Yeah, and not even to mention, we had those storms that were battering the coast, but then we had, before the winter started, we had what we called Norita in November, which hammered the shore. So it's been a pretty tough winter for Atlantic City. So they make our list at number 6. The Newark Star-Ledger may debate this because they had a headline earlier this week that said, worst season ever. So they may debate this, but we'll put it on number 6.
Number 6, and let you all figure it out or debate yourselves. Let's scroll on down to number 5. Number 5 and number 4. Okay, so number 5 is Oklahoma City. For both number 5 and number 4, we really could do a coin flip for these two cities. Just so close. They're both cities that are in the plains, and they both have had disruptive snowstorms. And well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, you don't think of Oklahoma and snow usually in the same sense, but they had probably the most iconic image I saw this entire winter was a picture of cars abandoned on freeways in Oklahoma City on Christmas Eve. An incredible record-setting snowstorm, over 13 inches in the Oklahoma City area. they've had 8 days this year with measurable snow, and they had a top 10 coldest winter for the state on record. And even as we tape this, they could see a few flakes the weekend after we tape this. So, yeah. I mean, it's just an incredible winter for them. And so for that, they make our list at number 5.
So, again, number 5 could be number 4. Number 4 could be number 5. What was it? It was Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dallas? Snow?
Yes.
Really?
And not just on one occasion either.
Okay, so we talked about that Christmas Eve blizzard in Oklahoma City. That same snowstorm dumped the first ever snow on record for Dallas on Christmas Eve. I mean, a white Christmas in Dallas just blows my mind. Then, that wasn't it, though.
No, and then Old Man Winter had another punch ready for them, and it was a humongous punch. And it is a snowstorm that will go down in the record books and maybe kind of stay in the record books for quite a long time. It was the all-time record for 24-hour snowfall in the month of February.
They had over a foot of snow in 24 hours. A foot of snow in Dallas. I mean, and to top that off, they had one of their coldest winters. So for that, Dallas, hey, you make our list at number 4. I mean, far exceeding expectations of any winter
Absolutely.
in Dallas-Fort Worth. Now we're getting to the biggies.
Here we go.
This is it, and these are the worst, the top 3, and we're going to start off in your home stomping grounds, Tim, Philadelphia.
There we go, Philadelphia, PA. It was well. Let me talk about 1993, 1996. Those were pretty vicious storms. Again, in my lifespan, just seasons that I did not think would ever be eclipsed. But guess what? 2009 and 2010 winter, incredible. A record snowiest season of 78 inches. Can you? And 78 inches of snow.
There's some ski resorts that might be envious
yes.
of that. But 3 of the top 10 snowstorms of record occurred just this season. So, Philly fans have a reputation, right? They're tough. They get on the team and everything.
Boo.
Yeah, it's just, booing the Santa Claus and all that. Look, okay. If you guys still survived this winter and didn't buy a snowblower, I am really impressed because this is just an amazing season. So, Philly, you make our list at number 3.
You can probably guess what number 2 is going to be. And here we go.
Now, initially, we thought this would be a coin toss, but we put Baltimore and Washington, D.C., clumped them together and put them at number 2. Obviously, they had their record snowy season both at Baltimore and Washington, but what leaped them over Philly in our minds was the impact of these storms.
Impacts. It was really what national media kept on talking about, especially in the D.C. area, was the federal government being shut down for 3 days in a row. Did that ever happen before?
Roof collapses in Baltimore. We had, they were dumping snow into the harbor in Baltimore because they didn't know where else to put it. They had huge repositories of snow in Washington, D.C. They were looking for lots just to dump all this snow. So just for pure impact purposes, we put Baltimore and Washington, D.C. number 2 on our list. All right, Tim. Number 1. Boy, we got to bat that. This is going to be a really cold place.
It's got to be a place that's always persistently cold.
Grab the coffee, man.
Yeah.
Grab the coffee.
Okay. Right.
Number 1, worst weather location for winter in the United States.
There we go. The drama's killing me. What?
Miami Beach. Did we have a Guinness before?
Yeah, we messed up.
Okay.
You know what? We're just going to stop this, and now we're going to.
All right.
No.
Let's explain this, guys. Miami Beach. Now, those storms that hammered the Northeast, they certainly hammered them hard. They were record stars and all that, but they were in and out. They were in and out, and they were gone. Florida had a persistently, stubbornly cold winter, and it's all about expectations, isn't it?
You're the snowbirds in the north. You expect to come down to Florida and enjoy just persistent warmth throughout the whole entire winter season. Not this year.
Yeah, you get away from winter to go to Florida, but we had snow flurries and sleet all the way down to Miami on January 9th. Florida tourism was impacted because of this, Tim?
Absolutely. Not only in South Florida, in the Miami Beach area, but also in southwestern Florida, Fort Myers and Sarasota. Those areas did have tourism impacted. So all around, you look at Miami Beach, it was just an overall impact from your expectations to tourism.
Absolutely. So when you go to Florida, you want to get away from it, but you really couldn't do that for long periods of time over this winter season in South Florida. So Miami Beach, sorry guys, worst winter weather location in the United States. So guys, check out our best winter weather locations video podcast as well.
Absolutely. And we talk about the best locations to be during this past winter season.
Yeah, hit us up on Facebook, by the way. You don't agree with this? Let us know about it on Facebook.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you all.
Enjoy the spring.
It'll be much welcomed.